Folks, can you guys see my screen? Zoom is crashy today.
I can see your screen.
Cool. Give it like 1 more minute. And the meeting note, the link to the meeting notes are in the invite. So if you want to go in and add yourself, you're welcome to. And just got some updates on AO as usual. Lots of open discussion. We'll just kind of see where things take us. Let's get started. Welcome everybody to the July 5th Alpha Omega public meeting. For those of you in the US, I hope you had a nice 4th of July. For everybody else, I also hope you had a nice 4th of July. So we've got I just really rough notes on some updates. I'm hoping, since we have lots of folks from AO on the call or associated, if you know, not to put you on the spot, but if there's any updates you'd like to give, that's what we're here for. And for everybody else, obviously, if you have questions or comments or whatever, you are welcome to do so. So a couple of you, so we have lots of things going on. First, on the mentorship side, Yesenia, would you like to give an update on that, or would any of the other mentees on the call like to give an update, or Jonathan, or anybody?
Yeah, I'll give a start for the update. I have a cat that's very particular with my camera right now, so if you see it move or just go black, it's just him. We are underway, so I think next week is week 6, and we'll be starting to do our demos, our midway demo statuses with the mentees. I can speak for the engineering side, which are the 2 that fall under me. Our software requirements document, including test cases and security cases, have been complete. The one for the triage portal has been updated on the Alpha Omega repo, so I can share the links, and those are ready for review. The one for the analyzer is ready, but Andres is on vacation, so once he comes back, we'll push that out. We'll be working on getting connectivity from the analyzer to the triage portal via an API, so modifying the API that will accept a token. It could be a JWT token or whatnot. Verifies the checksum of the SAR file that will be uploaded to the triage portal API to make sure that the results haven't been modified. And then the data is going to be stored into the triage portal, splitting between the SAR file can include as well as the assertion framework data results. So that's going to be stored in their individual databases. That's just a high level. I'm going to call on Glenda because I saw she was on it to see if she wants to say anything. If she doesn't need to. And then before I pass it over, our triage portal is officially live. I have to set up a start. So you can enter the admin. Nobody has credentials but myself. But once we get a login screen, that is available. So I'll go ahead and pass it on to Glenda.
Thank you, Yesenia. I think that you said really like the overall arch of what we want to accomplish. What I can add to that is that this week I was able to fix some of the issues that I was getting with the get source code and the get files method that the findings tab uses. And I was also able to fix some of the problems that I had with Redis. And right now I am currently on the works of implementing GraphQL into the triage portal and starting to develop the API endpoint. So yeah.
Awesome. Jonathan, anything? How about the research end of the mentorship?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yep.
On the research side, sorry, my brain's been very checked out. I've been traveling for a wedding and for holidays. So on the researcher side, Sonia is working on expanding the open rewrite recipes for XML XXE and trying to get that set up for a campaign that we can hopefully run. And then Aaron is actively working on expanding open rewrites data flow and control, well, primarily currently data flow analysis APIs to support multi-file data flow analysis. From there, so that will help us be able to tackle more complex vulnerabilities. On my side, I am working on some deliverables from inside of the vulnerability disclosure working group AutoFix SIG. I'm actively working on a disclosure pipeline state machine for handling automating vulnerability disclosures to maintainers and bulk pull request generation. So triage are both handling the issue, tracking the issue disclosure request process, as well as an email disclosure request process, and all of the state, interactions involved in that flow.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think the mentorship program I think is going great, and I'm just really excited to see, progress and things happening and all that. Any questions on that before we move on to the next topic? Wonderful. So next one, the OpenSSL 3.1 security audit kicked off, managed by OSTIF. So we have Amir here. I don't know if you want to say anything, but
Sure. Hello, everybody. Yeah, we're very excited to kick off the OpenSSL 3.1 security audit. Still very, very early stages, but just getting to that start line is always an accomplishment. So we're very happy about that. And I'll continue to keep the group updated on how that's going.
awesome. Similarly, I think we may have announced this last month. So if I'm repeating myself, I apologize. But we provided funding to the ISRG through over Proximo to improve the state of Rust within the Linux kernel, as well as feature work for Russell's, the Rust cryptographic library. We think that both of these have kind of long-term kind of systemic improvements to the availability of memory safety and memory safe crypto. So we're excited to start getting updates from them. We'll probably start getting updates from them, I think next month would be kind of reasonable. I think we signed, it's like 6 weeks ago, so it's a little bit early, but we want to start seeing progress there. On the Python side, welcome Seth. And I'm sure Seth, do you just go by Seth or Seth Michael? I wanted to
just Seth is fine. Yeah, the
Okay.
reason I have to do the full name is because unfortunately my name without the middle name has someone else on that planet has better SEO than me, and not a very good person. So
understood. Oh, I got it. Okay. Yeah. So welcome. I don't know if you want to say anything, but if you wanted to, you feel free.
yeah, hey everybody. I am Seth. I've been doing Python for a while. Very interested in supply chain security, and so just feel like I'm living the dream at this point. Yeah, I've been providing. I'll be providing like weekly updates on my own blog, and then obviously monthly updates here. So if you're interested in just following along in what's happening in the Python ecosystem, that would maybe be a good place to do it. And yeah, I've only been here for one full public week. So there's been some amount of movement. It's mostly been just meeting people and kind of figuring out what their problems are and what they think is interesting and what is currently in flight, because there's already lots of stuff in flight too. And that's been mostly what I've been doing. So
Awesome.
lovely to be here and just happy to collaborate with you all.
Very cool. Let's see, next on the agenda, disclosure check. I think this was also something I probably talked about last month, but disclosure check is the underlying tool that I think both Jonathan and Open Refactory are going to use to figure out how to best report a vulnerability privately to a maintainer, given just like a package URL. So the idea is, looking through security MD and availability of GitHub private vulnerability reports, URLs, mailing lists, Jira, whatever the project, whatever process the project would like. The intent of the tool is to discover that and hopefully be automated to the point that it's actually just a part of a larger pipeline. So that's available under OSSF just as a tool. On Open Refactory, I don't see Manoir here, but we agreed with Open Refactory to provide funding for them to go out and look through I think they're going to do 500 a month, running automated tooling and kind of owning the full process of scanning, discovering, triaging, reporting, and getting fixed, the whole pipeline for those projects for the next 6 months. I think they probably just started today, or it starts at the beginning of July. So we're really looking forward to both the actual like core output, which is fixed vulnerabilities, but also the learning so that we can adapt and adapt and adopt it within our tooling. And final update that I had, well, actually I have two more. Great Repository Audit SIG. So Jonathan, I don't know if you want to give an update on this. I can certainly give an update from
Why don't you start and I'll fill in the gaps?
Okay, so purpose of Great Repository Audit SIG is your package ecosystems are among the, if not the most critical parts of the open source ecosystem, because where you're going to go for your Python packages other than PyPy or RubyGems or NPM or wherever. So the software, both the client side, the server side, the infrastructure, the people, the process, and all that other stuff that like makes up that are critical parts of it. These ecosystems are often most of the ecosystems have not had a security audit in forever. And funding is a perennial challenge. So we think with turning money to security, it makes sense for AO to fund periodic security audits against those ecosystems. Obviously, these would be alpha engagements with the ecosystem's full buy-in and support and collaboration. This isn't I don't think this is something that we are going to do at them. Something we'll do with them. A lot of this came from this completely came from Jonathan's work in kind of advocating for for an audit of each of the major ecosystems and to really get it to the point so that consumers can understand whether the ecosystems that they rely on are like meet their expectations and meet best practices and all that stuff. Part of what AO can also do here is, in addition to funding the audit, is funding the remediation work that would probably tail in at the end of that, assuming that there were critical things found. So AO hasn't committed formally to funding this work, but it's definitely something that we're actively talking about, and I think it would be a great idea. So I don't know, Jonathan, if I missed anything.
Excuse me. So no, yeah, just high level goal of goal of the Great Artifact Repository audit is to let's walk before we can run. Let's determine that the industry has solid security practices around the security of the artifact supply, the artifact servers that are supplying the entire industry supply chain. And let's work with the maintainers of those hosts to address any vulnerabilities identified there. If you're curious and want to learn more, there is, I don't have my right Chrome window up, but I will post a link in the chat for the Great Artifact Repository audit for you all to review. And then we can, there's also the Securing Software Repositories Slack channel if you want to have the chat there. But I'll post a link to the chat or to the document in the chat shortly.
Awesome. Any questions around any of that?
Jonathan, can you remind me again when the group meets to talk about this, the Great Repository SIG group?
I think it's later today, right?
No, it's on it's the Great Artifact Repository audit is on Mondays at 1 p.m.
Okay. Which time zone is that?
Eastern. Yeah, it's just it wasn't this week because we had 4th of July and the 3rd of July and nobody was going to be around for that. So
that's weird. For some reason, I thought I had it on my calendar for later today.
that's a different meeting. That's the Vulnerability Disclosures Autofix SIG.
Oh, sorry. You're right. Yep.
I'm running 2 SIGs.
Okay. Cool.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay. So the last step that I had, Michael Windsor is back as a contractor starting this week, working on strategy execution and just generally accelerating our work. Expecting him to be, visible and available, certainly next month and on the Slack and, all that stuff. So you'll start to see him around again. So I'm super happy to have him back. And with that, I don't think that was my last update. Is there anything else anyone would like to talk about? Cool too.
Did we end up deciding who owns the disclose check repo, or does that Alpha Omega, or is that the Vulnerability Disclosure Working Group?
Nobody else picked it up, so fallback is AO.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
so it would actually be good to have more than just from a bus factor perspective, more than just me.
Yep.
Code base. Certainly, if anybody else on the call would like to contribute or maintain or whatever, it's definitely I think it's useful, but it's not it's not AO specific, so it's kind of a good general purpose tool, I think, but I'm biased.
Anybody wants to sit down and write some code? I'm currently working on the disclosure pipeline state machine thing. I would love to collaborate with someone to write integrations for Gmail and stuff like that. And I can, if somebody wants to is looking for an open source project to write some code with, ping me and we can sit down and discuss requirements.
If you have a GitHub issue, I can share it on social and see if we can find some volunteers.
Yep. Okay.
And then if anyone else is looking for any kind of contributions, check out the Alpha Omega, the Omega Triage portal, the Mazuring client, and then the auto, the open auto disclose for any of the first good issues or help wanted labels. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Is there anything else on people's minds? If not, we can. It's cool for this to be a short one. All right then. Thank you all very much appreciate your time and attention. And if you have any questions in the meantime, please find us on the Alpha Omega Slack channel, or shoot us an email or find us somehow. And next update will be next month. So everybody enjoy your summer and stay safe. Bye all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Michael. Thank you, everyone.